Hi, my name is William Vandre. I'm a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu under the Machado brothers from Brazil, and I own and teach out of my academy in Austin, Texas. Welcome to Volume 3, Developing the Topside Game. Welcome again to Volume 3, Developing the Topside. On this position, or positions from topside, this is my student Craig Burt. I'm going to develop some games and angles on the topside, but let me start with fundamental side 101. Craig? From this position here, what I'm going to start with first is a basic side control. When I move into the basic, this one. When I'm starting with the basic side control, you have to understand in Jiu-Jitsu, much like wrestling, there's pins or neutralizing an opponent to set up for locks, chokes, leg locks, pins, and any type of submission. A lot of times when you're holding someone on a side control or side mount position, it neutralizes them so they try to escape, and they usually waste a lot of energy trying to escape. When this happens, this weakens their defense and you're able to set them up for potential arm locks or chokes. Here in this position, let me show you a basic side 101 for many of you viewers who are very introductory into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or beginners. In this position here, I want to show you first from the guard. Let me go put me in the guard. In this guard position, this position may seem awkward to some people, but this is a very effective game. In this position here, for example, if my arm is stuck here, Craig can wrap around, put his, he can elbow lock me here, or he just traps my wrist, puts his foot on my hip, and here he's got me in a shoulder lock. Just squeeze your knees. Yeah, that's it. Just something basic. So in these positions here, a lot of times we're working position. Come back to the guard one more time, let me pass it. So what I'm going to do first of all, I'm going to work on neutralize this. I like to keep my arms in a lot so I'm not able to get locked or possible chokes, keep the neck tight. So basically I'm just going to start with a basic pin and pass. This is so fundamental, but since we're working more side control, let me just do something basic. I'm just going to pin, pass the guard. When I'm here on the side position here, now I have Craig on what's called side control. The side control, a lot of people may misunderstand what it is or is not. The side control here, we're going to start with a basic side here or katami or different positions, but I want to just go back to basic 101. So here this hand is going to be palm up. When I palm up, the reason why is because I'm blocking his hip. I'm blocking his hip so he cannot do what's called replacing the guard. For example, if I'm just posting both arms out here, if he scoots out, he can get his legs back in, then he has me right back into the guard. So this position is a position I don't really want to get stuck, so I have to pass all over, burn a lot of energy. So the first thing I'm going to do is block his hip, palm up here. This way his legs can't get me back. This arm will come over. Okay, when I'm in this position here, I'm holding tight. I keep my butt down, and my knees are kind of open. In just 1 second, Craig, sit up. So imagine I'm on top of Craig. I like to keep the knees like this. So when I'm pinning, I'm down, crouched like that. So now in this position here, I have Craig subdued in this position where if he tries to escape, I'm going to just scoot once, Craig. I stay with him so he's not able to escape or move out at all. This position here, I like to work because there's a lot of angles, submissions, etc. to get different positions. Most people, when they're doing a basic 101 side, and for some of you people who are very new to this, and some of you intermediate or advanced belted people, I'm going to work some other angles, some intermediate advanced techniques too. But let me just start with something very fundamental. Here into this position, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start here with this position. A lot of people know what Americana or arm bar or arm lock, excuse me, from the side when I'm doing it's actually a shoulder lock, not an arm lock. An Americana position here, or a paintbrush, is a position where a lot of times you pin the arm and you sneak this arm under, but the problem is sometimes people grab like this. When they grab like this, Craig, just straighten out your arm. He can escape quite easy. So here I like to hook like this. And let me come back to the side so I can set it up. Because a lot of times when people have side control issues, they try to raise up to grab the arm. By then, he scoots out, or who knows what, he can get me in some type of weird lock. So let me do something a little more conservative. Here I'm going to bring this arm over and palm the elbow. I'm going to push it up, put my forehead on the wrist. I'm going to drive this down. Then this hand is going to come over my head to pin his wrist. I bring the elbow right next to his cheek and put my weight on. Then I'm going to sneak this arm in like that. Here I just raise, no problem. And you drag a little bit. I drag actually an inch, you can't tell, because it's not just raising. You need to raise and then drag, raise, then drag, raise, then drag. That's what makes the shoulder lock happen. So first positions first. I'm going to start here on the front. Let me just start on the side, that's fine, because I'm not really working on passing. Here, block the hip, arm over. Here I'm going to post my hand on this. I'm going to, normally I'd have my hand here, but I'm going to move it out of the way so you can kind of see exactly what I'm doing. Push out, look down, drive my forehead down. This arm comes over, pin the wrist. Hook here, slide this arm under here, raise, drag. There's the setup. So here, let me just kind of go a little bit more half speed on this. So here in this position, when I'm kind of moving, I'm pushing, moving, down, the setup. Wow, there we have our maneuver. So this first move, review it, kind of work your techniques over and over. Thinking. And in this position, when you're reviewing this position, kind of go over it once again, and be very slow with your partner, especially if you're very, very fundamental beginner in Jiu-Jitsu. Okay? Work this technique hard. Okay, we're back, and I want to introduce you into a little bit of a different side control or different angle called the Kazuri Gatami, which is named after its judo term. From here, Craig's going to angle this way. Lie down this way, please. So here in this position, look. I originally just worked the previous position, and this is at the different angle. But here I was going for the Americana or the paintbrush. Here I have the arm blocked up. I have a little bit of a problem. When I'm moving for position, Craig pushes on my neck or my face away. Yeah, just push out like that, right? And he's got, even there, it's, yeah, like, causes pressure on the throat. So, and lock your arms, go ahead, push. Yeah, like here, see, I'm losing space. And what happened is, I'm doing this, he goes spin back to the guard. Not to this position. Look, he can even get me in a triangle right here, okay? So, from this position here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to work this angle because I'm going to have to switch my positions. The original basic side here, he starts pushing off my neck. So as I feel the pressure, I can't hold my position. So this arm is going to come under like this. When this arm comes under, I'm going to keep pushing, Craig. I'm going to put my weight and switch right away. See, I have a perfect position. This arm I'm going to trap right around here. When I have this position trapped, I have my weight on his stomach. And I can feel or hear the way Craig's breathing. It's really tough to breathe. So this position here, now, when I'm in Kazuri, the first thing I have to wonder is what I'm going to do to finish him. I have different angles, so let's kind of go through a few of them briefly. One is anytime someone's stuck here, I know the first thing they want to do is escape. So the first thing Craig's going to try to do is roll away to his left. He's going to just buck me over. So here he can even buck me over like that. As you see in this position, I don't have much of an angle for necessary defending because I might hit my head or get flipped over, then he's got me. I don't want that to happen. So here, I'm hugging tight on the shoulder. He bridges, I put my waist into him and hug the shoulder. You hear that? So here, bridge again, Craig. Here I'm hugging the shoulder like this. Now, obviously, I want to hug tight and a lot better, but I'm just showing you just the basic areas that are causing the pin. So now let me get back to this. Whenever their arm is like this and here, I like to kind of look down to keep his wrist trapped. I don't want his wrist too much here, but I can deal with that later too. But here, I'm holding here. So he tries to roll that way, I hug to neutralize position. Once I hug to neutralize position, this is a great angle to finish too. From here, I've got my arm on the shoulder. I'm going to let go for just a second. And I'm going to slide it right up to the elbow. And when you're sliding to the elbow, right here is the point of his elbow. If I put it here, try to elbow, it's probably going to slip off. Whenever someone is elbow locking, here's the point. Try to go an inch or so right above the elbow, because it's actually on the lower part of the tricep where you want your wrist. You don't want your whole arm here, just the wrist. This is more than enough. So here, I'm going to slide up here. Then look, I'm putting my weight on. I'm leaning my head all the way in this direction. When I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and step over. You can either crunch or just put your knee down like this. Then I'm going to grab this hand. Look, if I pull to my stomach, I think Craig feels some pressure, but notice he's not tapping because there's not enough leverage to elbow lock or straighten out the arm. So when you hug, hug to the side towards the hip. And when I'm hugging to the side, as you see, I'm completing the elbow lock. One other thing is you should always look down when you're elbow locking. Why? Because this keeps this hand against my head, and I'm basing my body to keep his body in place. This is creating a fulcrum effect where I'm able to lever the arm to go for the submission here. If I have my head up, the arm just may slide over, and then I lose the whole position. So here, fulcrum, bam. Okay? That's one. Let me go right back here. So he's had enough of that. So now he's going to try to turn and scoot out like that. He may scoot out and get position. So to prevent this, come back 1 second. Here, I'm going to raise this arm up. So here, when he tries to turn and scoot out that direction, I keep this arm up so he's not able to turn. When I'm doing this, I still keep my body weight over and across the stomach. Now, here in this position, I can go right back for the elbow lock here, but he tries to bend or defend a little bit. That's okay, because now, in this position, when he's going here, he pulls the arm out, but look, I still have this arm. So here what I'm going to do is just lean my head to the ground again and step over this arm. Crunch down like this, and then gently bridge. Okay, one more time. So I'm going here, he pulls out this arm, no sweat. I'm just going to bring this foot right next to his cheek, clamp here, bridge like that. Nice and easy. Okay, so we have a couple different angles so far on the lock. When I'm working this position here, the next thing I want to work is now I'm going to go to position number 3. Here, when I'm working this position here, he wants to try to buck me, and this is all from this same side mount, the Kazuri. So here, when he tries to buck me, he bucks me over, I post, push back, side. One more time. Post, push back, onto the side. And I have him pretty tight in this position. So once I'm here in this position, there's one position left he has, is to try to push and sit up. If he does it, that's pretty low percentage, but they'll still try it. So if they try it, he pushes here like this. Sometimes they want to reverse you like that. Back. So here, if he's going for this position, he go push like this here. Look, I'm just going to push this arm across, come right back to the side. Here I even have some chokes, some other locks, but I'm just going to show you side right now, like that. So from here, position 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to work with those different angles. And in those positions here, kind of review those very slowly and kind of work those the best you can, okay? Welcome back. I'm going to work the next position here is a position that is a very tough position for people to get out. It's called the knee on stomach. Greg? On knee on stomach positions, usually we're going to start from the top side or side control, which we just previously worked on. The knee on stomach is a good position here, whether you're here or in the kazuri, which we just did. Here into this position, let's just work this position here. What happens is Craig is going to scoot out. Yeah, he scoots, he gets away, and he goes back to the guard. Remember, ultimately, a lot of grapplers who are Jiu-Jitsu grapplers, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu grapplers, a lot of times they're going to try to replace the guard. When they try to replace the guard, a lot of times my side control has to neutralize their escape. So working on this, let me work this angle here. Here, when Craig, I feel him starting to escape, I'm going to grab his collar. Then this hand here is going to grab his belt. And make sure you're always doing it like this. See how I'm still down? I'm going to push off here, put what's called knee on stomach. We call it knee on stomach, but it's really our shin that goes across the stomach, because obviously you don't want to put the knee on, you'll topple over. So here in this position, when I'm moving here, I'm going to step out. Notice this leg is not bent like this. If it's bent like this, this will not count, and it doesn't really do a lot because it doesn't bother him a bit. In a jiu-jitsu tournament or some submission grappling tournaments, a knee out or stretched out is the proper way for you to acquire 2 points. Here, this position helps us set up so many other positions. So when I'm working knee on stomach here, I'm going to show you a couple angles that I like to do. The first thing, let me just take my weight off for a second. The first thing people try to do is scoot or push off. When he pushes out, a lot of times people try to go for arm bars. That is a big potential plus. But I even like another angle of so many. When he's scooting out here I'm going to put the knee on stomach. He pushes out. When he pushes out, I palm the shoulder and I go replace it with what's called the wrong knee on stomach. It's not an incorrect knee on stomach, it's just the terminology I use is called wrong knee on stomach. So let me do this again. Let's get a little time. You can stay here. So you're here in this position. Boom, knee on stomach. He pushes out. I palm, automatically replace it, get to the side this way. And I can palm here. Here, if he tries to push that leg out, back to the shoulder, push out, scoot out. Boom, replace, back to the knee on stomach. Okay. So when I'm in this position here, why am I doing this? Because I want to wear down his game. I want to wear him down. I want him to get tired. I want him, if he's, let's say he's 250 pounds, I'm 130 pounds, he's going to be able to power out, which is why the knee on stomach is such an effective weapon in your grappling. So here, once again, on the side, I'm getting to the top, knee on stomach. He tries to push out. I palm the shoulder, replace it here, push here. He comes back, yes. And when he's come to this position, look, I'm going to make sure I post my weight here to go to the other knee. Okay? So now we know that, we can do that. They're probably going to get a little tired. So I want to show you a couple angles here for finishing. So here, I go knee on stomach. He pushes out. So I immediately replace it here. From this position here, I'm going to switch my knee here like that. Step out here. He tries to push me out. I push again. Knee here. So now I'm going to bring my knee almost to the tip, and I'm just going to slide this leg over. Boom, like this. Come over to the side. This is a very unorthodox but very effective way to keep switching to knee on stomach on an opponent. From here, I want to go for a finish. And when I'm going for a finish, let me show you a kill I like to do because I like a lot of leg locks, ankle locks, things like that. So here, Craig pushes out, I push, I defend here. As he's coming here, I switch, step over, he tries to push out the other way, post, wrong knee here, I switch, step out the other way, he tries to push again, no problem. I'm going to switch here. This time, I've had enough. It's time to finish. He scoots out. So when he scoots out, I'm going to put my shin right on his thigh. When I put my shin, Craig, can you raise your leg? As you see, I'm pinning his leg with my shin. The more he tries to scoot out, the more this foot is going to rise, which is going to help me when I hook it right here. When I hook it here, I grab the ankle, I grab my wrist. You don't straighten like this. You simply, this hand looks like you're looking at your watch, and you push the toes down like that. One more time. One more time. Great. So, let me kind of put this all in sequence one more time, a little bit half speed. I'm just going to kind of move around one position to the other position, to the other position. And when I'm working here, I'm going to start with a knee on stomach. Boom. He pushes out. I replace here. Let me scoot back a little bit. And sometimes you can go straight to the foot lock right off the bat. Let me go to the second one. He's pushing here. I post right on the shoulders. He pushes out again. I'm posting here. I'm going to step over. Come this angle. He pushes out. Scoot it that way. Post on the shoulders. Wrong knee. Now I'm going to switch out here. Back to the original side. He scoots out again. Post here. He pushes out. I've had enough. I'm pinning this leg here. He scoots out a little more. I'm going to just wait for this here. Boom. Toe hold. So anyway, when I'm working these positions here, a lot of good angles for finishing. So when you're working on this, be very slow with your partner. Toe holds can be very damaging if you do them too fast, just like any submission can. And make sure you work them very slow so your partner has time to tap out, because remember, you're drilling and your practice is what's going to make your technique better. Okay, on this next position we're going to work with is another angle from the side control. One of the other problems with finishing someone is getting the control of the body. A lot of times, if he's stronger, we worked a couple different angles from the kazuri, the sides earlier, to certain locks, but sometimes they are so darn strong or so powerful, quick, you can't hold them. So this particular time, I'm going to start with my knee inside here, because I'm going to show you a different angle on side. But I'm going to show you this side control here. When I have this side control here, I want to make sure my shoulder is kind of leaning a little to turn his face to the side. The reason I do that is because a lot of times, Craig, hold position right there because I want you to buck. Here, imagine there's 100 pounds on Craig. Buck high. As you see, he can easily buck it off, okay? The problem is his neck is straight. When the neck is straight, it's easy to bridge the spine and it's easy to bridge the hips, so they can escape a lot easier. The other problem here is, Craig, turn your head all the way to the left, touch the ground, and then try to bridge. You see he's not able to get much of a bridge. When they're in this position here, this inhibits their escapes or bucking or powering out of a side. Sometimes when you have a smaller student or smaller practitioner of BJJ, holding to the side to put the shoulder in the neck helps a lot. Okay, so from this position here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold Craig on the side. I'm going to get my knee inside here. Here, I'm going to loop under here. I'm going to put my shoulder a little bit in to turn his neck. Okay, this makes it a little bit tough for him. But the problem is a lot of times they're, bucking or kicking, and then I have a position where I'm not able to hold them very well. So what I want to work with here, I need to go for a finish. So in this position here, let me move your hand just like this. Just imagine I'm on side like this. I'm holding just like this really tight. This arm is going to come out. My thumb is going to come down right into the collar. So it's going to pull out like this, just like this. The reason why is because I'm going to open this collar. This is going to help me a lot. So here, I'm holding very tightly. I'm going to slide. Notice I don't even have to move my body. I'm going to push this out like that. When I push it out, I'm going to grab a hold of the collar. I'm going to stretch it first, then feed it to the hand that's under the neck, like this. When I'm holding position here, now, I'm going to reach and grab his arm here, pull this across the chest here, and hold this. Also, one point here. Look what my arm is doing. I'm making his head turn to the side. Remember when I was talking about neutralizing him by making him look to the side. Here, I have this position, and I'm going to put my pressure across the chest, kind of like a knee on stomach. So once I have this position here, he tries to tuck this arm, because the problem is, straighten the arm one more time. When they do this here, this also is danger for arm lock or twist. So you have to watch out for different times, different locks. So he tries to tuck that arm in, fine, let him have it. This, I'm going to hold, I'm going to go to the north-south. This position here up high is no longer side mount, it's called north-south. When I'm here, I'm going to step over, and here in this position, I already have his collar this way. I'm going to step over and touch my knee to the ground right here as I'm holding his collar. Then I'm going to touch my left elbow to my knee like that. What that's going to do is cause a choke. As I step over, I'm going to touch my head down to the ground. So let's put this all together so you can actually visualize what I'm doing. Here again, look, this has got to go under the neck like that. See, my arm is making his head turn. I'm pulling here. I'm walking all the way. I'm going to step and then put the knee down. Look, he's tapping before I can even touch the knee on the ground. This position here is a move very tough to get out. A lot of my students like doing this move. I think if you work this, you'll see this can add a lot of weapons to your game. I'm going to show you why in the next technique after this one, but let me focus back again. So here, I open up, feed under, grip, post, grab this arm. He tries to tuck his arm in, fearing an arm lock or potential moves. So I'm going to walk over here. I'm going to step over, touch the knee down. Yes. Right there's the choke. So here, this position is tough, and let me kind of accentuate a little bit here. Just stay right there. Imagine I have this under like that. Then I'm coming over here like this. As I put the knee on the ground, the collar is wrapped around the neck, and when I'm touching my elbow to the knee, I'm choking him across the side of the neck. It is not a gag, so you don't want to choke across the Adam's apple or gag. You just want to choke across the collar of the neck. One more time. Boom. Finish. Go to the side. Step over. Touch. Easily. I'm going for the finish. This choke is me really tough. So in this position here when we're working, kind of work the angle very slowly. Remember, try to touch your knee to the ground slowly. You can't raise up and do it. You need to lean a little bit forward just to be safe, and don't squash your partner's face, okay? Be very easy on them. Okay, our next technique here we're going to work with is a little bit of a variation on the previous technique. What I want to work here, as we just worked, was opening the collar, feeding under the neck, going for the choke. There's going to be a little problem here, so we're going to have to do a little variation. So here again, I have side control. I'm reaching under, just one second. I'm reaching under, opening the collar, get it tight. Then I have to feed it under the neck here, like this. Then I grab this arm here. I'm walking around. As I walk around here again, I'm just going to put my knee and go for the choke. One problem, and this happens too. A lot of times I'm walking here into this position, and as I'm walking, he's blocking me with his hands. So just like this hand, we just like push my arm. Yeah, both arms, like, yeah, grab like this. So see what's happening is he's blocking, keep pushing. He's blocking this hand here, and then here, this hand is blocking here. So come back one more time. So here as I'm trying to walk around, he's kind of got me neutralized, because he has a feeling he knows I'm going for the choke. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to show you this angle first, and then I'm going to show you from the other side. So the first thing I'm going to do here, I feel him, I can't get rid of his arm. I'm going to let go of this arm here. This hand is just going to slip just like this, wrist to wrist. From here, I'm going to put my weight down like this. I'm going to let go of the collar and post this hand over like this. As I'm coming around here to this position, I start walking again, north-south. When I get to this position here, and you can grab your collar if you like, or just the arm. This arm is going to come under this arm here to position. When I'm hooking here, I'm going to come hook into position and go for a finish right off the bat. This finish is called the armpit Americana. And this is a move that one of my instructors, Haji Machado, not Haji Gracie, he's from Brazil. Haji Machado from California taught me years ago. And this move here is basically torquing where we have an Americana type reaction. So once again here, I've got the collar fed, I'm hooking, but he blocks my arms. Come here, here, hook. Once I'm walking here into this position, I'm walking all the way around, fire this over, and I'm torquing there, like this. Now, from this angle here, what I want to do is, I showed you this side, so I'm going to kind of turn Craig around. Let me go to the other side a little bit. Oh, that's fine right here. Yeah, that's fine. Just a little bit at the angle. So here, as you see from right here, I'm in the same setup, but he blocks my arms. So as you see here, I'm coming under this position here. As I'm coming around, straighten your legs, Craig. Here, when I'm moving to the armpit Americana, like I said, you can grab your collar, just grab your arm. I like just grab my arm because I like to do this no-gi too. When I'm hooking, watch what I do to his arm. I'm going to fire this over his arm like this. This is going to push this arm in that direction. So when I'm hooking here, I'm pulling there, then I'm putting a little bit of weight in that direction, and there you go. So a lot of times when you're working here, let me just do this kind of loose. A lot of times when people are doing this and you come like that, you can really tear someone's shoulder off, so you better be very careful on this. So one more time. So here I have the collar here in this position. Let me hook under your neck, please. So here I'm hooking here, but he blocks my arms. So again, hook under, trap, put my weight, walk around. Then I'm coming here, fire this arm here, torque, nice and easy, and there's the lock. So that's a good finish and a good alternative route to the previous technique you did. Sometimes people scoot out, push out, defend, whatever they do. So different angles from this position will help a lot in your game. You always have to have one backup for another. Try to work with those as much as you can. I hope you enjoyed Volume 3, Developing the Top Game. And if you want to ever go to my website, you can go www.austinbjj.com. You can email me, give me some feedback if you like, or if you're ever in Austin, you can reach me at my academy in Austin. All my email and phone number you can get through my website. Thanks a lot. I hope you enjoyed Volume 3.